Yogena Chittasya Padena Vacham Malam Sharirasya Chavaijakina Yopakkarotam Pravaram Muninam Patanjalim Pranjali Ranatosmi.
This shlok is a form of a prayer to Patanjali. Patanjali is someone who is purifying the mind with the help of yoga, who has enlightened the world with Mahabhasya. Because some people used to consider him that he was a grammatician. He has written the commentaries on Panini's Mahabhasya. Mahabhasya was a grammar encyclopedia of Sanskrit. Adding to this, some people also used to consider him that he was a master in medical sciences and Ayurveda. Some people also say that these three stories are of different times, and these three people were actually three different Patanjalis. There is a conflict in the industry, and why is it? Because there is actually no biography of Patanjali available or ever written in the history of mankind. Why are we talking about Patanjali is he is considered as the father of modern yoga. Why he is considered is because he has written Yoga Sutras. Now they are called as Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. There are in total 195-196 sutras. There are only few stories available in the market about him. Different sects, different schools, different places have formed different stories about his birth. One of them goes like his mother, Gonika. She pleaded Lord Vishnu to give him a son or a child so that she can expound his own knowledge of yoga to the entire generations of humanity. She was also the yogi of a very high order. So some people say that Patanjali was actually the roop or a form of Adi Shesh. Do you know Adi Shesh? Adi Shesh is a 1,000-headed serpent or snake on which Lord Vishnu rests. In the southern parts of India, it is also said that Patanjali was a disciple of Nandidev. Nandideva was also a yogi of a very high order, and he had a school. There are different stories about him, but for us in this discussion, none of this matters. The mythology, the history, the stories, his life, his lineage, his parentage, none of this matter. What matters the most is his work. What did he actually do? And most importantly, why did he do? What he did was he just wrote 195-196 sentences, which today they are called as Yoga Sutras. Why are they called Sutra? Sutra actually means a thread, and a thread has two functions. First is a thread is used in a garland or in a necklace. The function of thread is it keeps all the things together. For example, pearls or beads or flowers in the garland. Thread functions to keep it together. And this is something what Patanjali did. He never wrote original sentences or poetries or Purans or different forms of text which are available for spiritual advancement, Upanishads, Ved, no. He never wrote an original text. All he did was compilation. This is the time when more than 1,000 yoga schools are working across the country. And not just in India, but in different parts nearby India also. At that time, they were collectively called as Bharata. And there were more than 1,000 yoga schools actually working. And there were various rishis and munis and teachers, acharyas, gurus. They were all teaching yoga in their own style, with their own discipline. So what Patanjali did was, he traveled across the country, north to south, east to west. There was a cosmos of spiritual wisdom available in this country back then. And this is all he did. He concentrated this entire cosmos of wisdom into just 195 sentences. Just 195. This is the profoundness of each sutra. People have written books, commentaries, essays, research papers, all sorts of documents on each sutra. We usually categorize yogis into a few categories. Some of them which have got famous are Karma Yogi, Gyan Yogi. Gyan Yogi means the yoga of mind or knowledge. Karma Yogi is the yoga of action. Hatha Yogi, the yoga of physical body. Bhakti Yogi, the yoga of devotion. Kriya Yogi, the yoga of energies. And this was the flexibility he kept in the Yoga Sutra, that yogi of any form, of any category, of any discipline, whoever reads it, the Yoga Sutras are going to help him in his spiritual advancement. The second function of a thread is to connect. And this is the most required contribution of Patanjali to the humanity, was the connection he built of yoga to practicality, to psychology, to different dimensions of life. This knowledge of and wisdom of yoga have been taught by various rishis, various gurus in the past. But it was Patanjali who was started to be called as the father of modern yoga. Why modern yoga? He will not be touching the sensitive and abstract concepts. He felt definitely there was a need, that there was a connection, that a sadhak or a practitioner was able to relate to the practice and not just listen to the guru, but actually understand the practice. And definitely for such a being who is talented, so talented that he has brought the entire cosmos of wisdom into just 195 sentences, I'm pretty sure he must be good. A scholar of Sanskrit language. The wisdom with which he has written those sutras in just 195 mere sentences. Usually if you will go anywhere and if you will find Patanjali's pratima, or we call it statue or idol, usually he is sitting on a 3.5-tailed, 5-headed serpent. What does this 3.5 means? Half is actually the world of materialism, the materialistic world. Then comes 3 of the serpent's tail. 3 actually has quite a significance in in our scriptures. Not only just text, but in this entire universe. The Holy Trinity, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the symbols of the Holy Trinity: destruction, sustenance, and creation. The three goddesses, Lakshmi, Saraswati, and Parvati. The three gunas of creation, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. And the yogi, the Patanjali, is sitting on top of them to demonstrate that a mastered yogi is a person who is separated from all the processes of Rajas, Tamas, Sattva, creation, sustenance, dissolution. He's completely separate. He has mastered all of it. He is the knower of all of these. Now there are 5-headed serpent. What does these 5 heads mean? These 5 heads actually mean the 5 elements of physicality: fire, earth, water, wind, and space. The 5 elements of physical creation. Usually you will find that there are 2 more serpents. They are standing separately on the right and left hand side. They denote the mental aspects of creation, which is the memory, that is manas, and buddhi, that is the intellect. They are going down. This just denotes that a mastered yogi is someone who has complete control over physical and mental aspects of his own creation. And in the end, he has 4 hands. One hand is holding a shankh, a conch, to demonstrate sound. And this is not just in Gita or in our Vedas or in our Upanishads. It is also even in Bible, that before the creation there was sound. We call it that this sound is called Om. On his right hand, he is holding a Kal Chakra to demonstrate the cycle of time, the yugas, and most importantly, the cycle of cause and effect, which Patanjali in his Yoga Sutras have touched very profoundly, and we will be discussing about this in the upcoming lectures. And with his actual 2 hands, he's on the pose of a namaste, to show, even if there's a mastered yogi who has complete control or who has completely mastered the physical, the mental, how much ever mastery he has done, he still has that humility to bow down, a feeling of gratefulness, thankfulness of highest order, that he is just bowing down to everything around him. In the upcoming lectures, we will start discussing with the first lecture, the first chapter of Yoga Sutras. Namaskar.